Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Min's Minutes Modcast. Today, my special guest is Mitali. Hey, Mitali.
Hello.
Now, we've only got a minute, so let's crack on. So, my first question is what inspired you to start Brown Game Strong, the podcast? And what's your vision for it, and how's that evolved over time?
So, Brown Game Strong came from a process of reckoning with my own identity and what it meant to be Spanish, Indian, Sindhi, South Asian, with British influences through my education. When I moved to the UK 13 years ago, it was the first time I actually realized that the feelings that I had growing up were not actually my own, they were actually shared experiences. So, my why was always to create a space that made sense for me. And I think along the way, I found people that also resonated with it. So, what's evolved is the definition of strong. So, whilst historically the focus was on our inner strength in our culture and our identity, which still very much holds, we're actually now currently in our physical strength era. So, we're making fitness classes more enjoyable and accessible to the South Asian community in London. So, definitely watch this space because the audience of the podcast is what's made that happen and that evolution happen for BGS.
Fantastic. Now we love stories. We're Indians, right? So that's in our blood. So can you share a memorable story from one of the interviews that you've done on your podcast that had a significant impact on you or your audience?
You know what, Min? It's really hard to pick one. I've had a guest whose 10-year-old YouTube channel was discovered. She rejected her offer at Uber in San Francisco and was flown out to India to record a Bollywood song, which topped the charts for the whole year. We had someone who recovered from cancer in his early 20s and used his journey to become a female coach. There was someone who was Shah Rukh Khan's creative director
What?
and then got deported to Ghana and started making viral wedding videos, including many well-known celebrity weddings. But one of my recent guests, actually, that comes to mind, Nina Davaluri, was she was the first South Asian female in history to win Miss America. And she told us the story of how she received backlash back in India for it, very surprisingly, for her skin tone. So she actually went to write to the CEO of Unilever, who owned the brand Fair and Lovely,
Yeah.
about how problematic it was really as a product. And as a result of that, it caused a viral campaign to happen globally, which led Unilever to have to change the name for the product. So we're not quite there where the product doesn't exist anymore, but it caused ripples that have really made an impact in our community. So yeah, that really stood out to me.
Now, how do you select your guests and what qualities or stories are you looking for, particularly to ensure they resonate with your creativity and they're culturally curious as well?
So I'm quite proud of the fact that I am very intentional with my choice of guests, and I always have been from day one. This can be both a blessing and a curse. So actually, I don't need to do much research or prepare much for my guest recordings usually, because more often than not, I've either been a customer of theirs, I've gone to one of their classes, or I've just been a long-standing admirer. I generally do look for people whose demeanor I'm naturally drawn to or inspired by. So nowadays they call it a vibe check. So if they pass the vibe check for me, but also some fundamental things such as realness, intentionality, credibility, passion, serious talent for their craft. And also surprisingly being kind goes a long way for me. So sometimes I get requests from people to come on the show, and a few of my episodes are actually with people who've come to me first. One thing I'm looking at constantly is how can I spotlight people from different backgrounds and experiences so we aren't always in that echo chamber. So I'm keen to bring on people across different creative disciplines, from different countries, different socioeconomic backgrounds, gender identities, also cultural identities, whilst loosely fitting into the South Asian demographic. So it's very much a conscious work in progress.